ever since I started sort of being a lot more serious about my work stuff, um, the depressing moments have been crushing. But the happy moments have also been like absolutely wonderful, and they make it worth it. Even though sometimes it might feel that there's a little bit less of those than there are of the crushing moments. But I'm a very stubborn giraffe, so um, I like to keep trying even when I'm against big adversity. Because when you defeat adversity like that, it's all the more satisfying. Yeah, very much so. So before I started sort of, I guess, taking life seriously, I was living in this sort of gray area where like I wouldn't really get emotionally invested in anything, um, and it was really safe. It was really safe. My emotional balance was really good. Um, but because it was so good, like nothing would really feel super good either, and things would sort of start dulling out really quickly. Which is why I used to draw so much stuff online, because I was sort of chasing for that feeling of, I guess, achievement, but I couldn't get the feeling myself anymore. So I had to get it from external sources, which were like stuff like comments on DeviantArt and stuff like that. And it was and very quickly, like the average comment would get really like sort of dull and even bothersome sometimes, and I would just sort of grow tired of them. I would start wanting more and more and more, and because nothing would do it. It's kind of like getting addicted to a drug. Um, I would just seek for that sort of crowd approval because that was the only thing that made me feel stuff. Um, so after I sort of started taking life more seriously, I all of that power comes from inside now, which feels great, but it's also really crushing. Because every success that you have is yours, and you can like celebrate it wholeheartedly because you worked hard for it. But at the same time, every failure is also yours, and you're alone with it, which is sometimes really crushing. So it's definitely exactly like Shigu said. It's like a roller coaster of like a super hard caliber. Um, it's not necessarily a lifestyle I can see a lot of people doing because you're so kind of emotionally invested in things that failure no longer becomes an option, um, which is really anxiety inducing, and it leads into workaholism and stuff like that. I would say I would never trade this life that I have now for the one that I used to have. Um, but I was definitely more relaxed back then. um, so having the ability to sort of forget all worries for a moment and just take a day off and do stuff like that. It's exactly, yeah, very well said, Anshan. It's it's a rough and scary ride, but like I've done so much because of it. Previously, I would just sort of draw by myself and just sort of post it online and look for those likes and comments and or I guess favorites is what DeviantArt uses, and FA and stuff, and I would sort of gauge my value based on those. um, but I wasn't really I guess, achieving anything. I was just sort of stuck in place. I wasn't really growing as an artist. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I was definitely growing as an artist. But I wasn't growing super fast. It was slow because I would only draw like, let's say, 3 pictures a week, roughly. They were full color, which is why my color work is pretty good, because I've been working with colors for so long. But I was sort of stuck in my comfort zone. And stepping out of the comfort zone was a big thing. I've gotten a lot of things that I didn't know that I could. So yeah, sometimes it's good to have a little bit of an uncomfortable life for the sake of change.